What's going on, guys? So, I've covered this before, and I would like to start out, gotta have my Full Metal merch. Absolutely love that show, if you can't tell behind me. But I would like to go ahead and let you know, yes, I'm covering another pastor, another ass, another total sellout, horrible human being. And it's somebody that I've had on my list of problems for years. Now, when I was a younger boy, just pretty much hands deep in masturbation and porn, I have to say that this was somebody that I thought was the worst human being. The reason why is because this was the first person I met that was a televangelist. For those that don't know what that is, they are TV preachers. They make a lot of money. Now, I'm not one to say, oh, let's go tax the churches, but I will say this. If you're going to use him as an argument, yeah, you pretty much got a winning argument there. Now, here's a few things. What I'm showing you right now, this is his house. And I know we should not be jumping all down people. Oh, well, they got a big house, so what? Well, let's go ahead and talk about that. This man, who has a multi-million-dollar home, millions and millions and millions of dollars, probably tens of millions, is not willing to give up his house to save his church. He went out of his way. By the way, these are all alleged. I got them from a few news sources, and I'm not going to put the sources down below because I just think it's stupid. But allegedly, he got PPP loans. He also got some bailout money to keep his church running. And it was during the unfortunate time. And here's the thing. That's taxpayer money. You don't pay taxes. You should have no right to it. You are not a business. These are for businesses. If your church is labeled as a business, you should not be untaxed. But I want to give you a quick introduction. This is how I found out who he was. So I was coming out of my room. I was a teenager, Mr. Angsty me that had the hair in my face. If you don't remember that, everybody had the swoosh. Yeah, I had to use a hairdryer and a lot of brushing. It was a nightmare. Fashion was pain. But basically what happened was I'm walking through. My stepmom of all times is always trying to watch these godforsaken evangelist people, and Joel Osteen was one of them. Now, I never heard of the man, and I was like, why has that church got like 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 people? And she's like, oh, he's this really good preacher. I was like, our preacher was a pretty good preacher. The man talked about, he would go out to the people that need saving. This man's just on TV playing dice to find out which book he's going to read from, and then he makes up stories. He seems super disingenuous. Now, I was actually going to get proven right later on in life when the hurricane issue happened. Basically, there was people that could die. I mean, it's a hurricane, flooding, all this stuff. Things are going to get damaged. People can get sick. People can get washed away. And the nearest shelter essentially would have been his church. It was the safest place. Yeah, he pretty much said, nah, screw you guys. I don't care. You're not coming in. Instead of fighting the good fight that he's supposed to do. Now, this is him, being a preacher. That's my whole point. It wasn't until he got a lot of backlash, all of a sudden we heard the excuses, and then he started letting people in. So, yeah. That was pretty early on. That was my early introduction to him, my early screw you that I was thinking about. Because, and there's another thing, you've seen his house. His house is ginormous. The man also owns a $325,000 Ferrari. It's expensive. Now, this one that I'm showing you probably is not, but at least it's the same one. And here's another thing, and it gets done a lot. I mean, these people are greedy. They are greedy, 100%. If they wanted their church to still be running, they would have went just straight free. But no, he took them loans out. Here's another thing that caught my eye. The fact that this man is literally the walking epitome of greed. And, there's a Bible verse, I can't remember which one, but basically it stated that it is a lot easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than a rich man to make it to heaven. But my point is, this man is not that type. He can't go without his money. He can't go without all the funds. And I also read some of the comments that popped up, because I did look them up and look into a few things to try to see whatever way they were going to spin this. There was comments, it was on a Twitter thread, and it was stating that he gets his money through book sales. I want you to understand something. the man is worth like $50 million. While it's not a lot, that makes no sense. He clearly has all this money from his inherited church, where he sells God. He wouldn't have the house he has, he wouldn't have the car he has, if he only sold books. He's not a biggest seller of the world. To go ahead and make this make sense, all right, Rowling that made Harry Potter, just the book sold like 600 million. She's worth $1 billion. That's a huge franchise. Whether or not she's a part of whatever, she still gets paid. She still gets paid a lot of money. And you're talking about this man's worth $50 million from a few raggedy ass book sales? No, you're wrong. You're just wrong. And you're dense. And he's suckered you into paying him. I have to say, a lot of these preachers I've covered, this is the third one. I think I've mentioned him before, and I probably will mention him again when I find another shady preacher to talk about. It seems to become a trend. One of my favorite things is Rice's Gemstones, which kind of parodies all of these people in one go. I haven't finished it. I just can only watch so many episodes at a time. But it just super reflects the actual truth behind the fakeness of these. But I hope you at least second guess the next time you hear a evangelist trying to preach about God and just realize that they are just wanting your money. They're no different than any other beggar, because what they're doing, they're trying to sell you the word of God and this fake story to wrap around to try to give you influence without, it's just not transparent. There's people that do that. They're called book writers. They make up stories to give you inspiration. But that's not what these people are. That's not what Kenneth Copeland, quite literally Satan face mixed with Smeagol. He doesn't care. He wants your money. And then whoever that obese dude was on the last video I did that was all about, I turn these people away and I rack up all the dough from you. My watch costs $50,000. I have 10 homes. Yay, look at me. God's definitely going to let me go up there. They're just counting your money and laughing at the fact you believe in God. That's what it really is. Now, to go ahead and end this on everything that I've talked about is alleged. It's all alleged. None of it's true. I just looked it all up on news sites. And another thing is, please don't go harass none of these people, because it's not worth your time. I'm going to be honest. These people do not care. They make too much money to worry about it. But yeah, that's about all I got to say. Y'all have a good one.